The Ransom of Red Shift by O.Henry. It looked like a good thing, but wait till I tell you. We were down south in Alabama, Bill Cole and myself, when this kidnapping idea struck us. It was as Bill afterward expressed it, during a moment of temporary mental apparition, but we didn't find that out till later. There was a town down there as flat as flannel cake and called Summit, of course. It contained inhabitants of as undelicious and self-satisfied a class of peasantry as ever clustered around the maypole. Bill and me had a joint capital of about $600, and we needed just $2,000 more to pull off a fraudulent town lot scheme in western Illinois. We talked it over on the front step of the hotel. Is strong in some rural communities, therefore, and for other reasons. A kidnapping project ought to do better than in the radius of newspapers that send reporters out in plain clothes to stir up talk about such things. We knew that Summit couldn't get after us with anything stronger than constables and maybe some lackadaisical bloodhounds and to the weekly farmer's budget. So it looked good. We selected for our victim the only child of a prominent citizen named Ebenezer Darcent. The father was respectable and tied a mortgage, fancier and a stern, upright collection plate passer and forecloser. The kid was a boy of 10, with bas-relief freckles and hair color of the cover of magazine you buy at the newsstand when you want to catch a train. Bill and me figured that Ebenezer would melt down for a ransom of $2,000 to a cent. But wait till I tell you. About 2 miles from Summit was a little mountain covered with a dense cedar brake. On the rear elevation of this mountain was cave, and there was stored provision. One evening after sundown, we drove in a buggy past old Dorset's house. The kid was in the street, throwing rocks at a kitten on the opposite fence. "Hey, little boy," says Bill, "would you like to have a bag of candy and a nice ride?" The boy catches Bill neatly in the eyes with a piece of brick. "That will cost the old man an extra $500, says Bill, climbing over the wheel. That boy put up a fight like a welterweight Cinnamon bear, but at last we got him down in the bottom of the buggy and drove away. We took him up to the cave, and I hitched the horse in the cedar brake. After dark, I drove the buggy to the little village 3 miles away where we had hired it, and walked back to mountain. Bill was posting court plaster over the stretched and bruises on his features. There was a fire burning behind the big rock and the entrance of the cave, and The boy was watching a pot of boiling coffee with two buzzard tail feathers stuck in his red hair. He points a stick at me when I come up and says, "Ha, cursed paleface. Do you dare to enter the camp of Red Chief, the terror of plains?" He's all right now," says Bill, rolling up his trousers and examining some bruises on his shins. "We were playing Indian. We were making Buffalo Bill's show look like magic lantern views of Palestine and the Towel Hall. I'm old Hank, the trapper Red Chief captive, and I'm to be scalped at daybreak. By Gramino, that kid can kick hard." "Yes, sir." That boy seemed to be having the time of his life. The fun of camping out in a cave had made him forget that he was a captive himself. He immediately christened me Snake Eye, the spy, and announced that when his braves returned from the warps, I was to broiled at the stake at the rising of the sun. Then we had supper and filled his mouth full of bacon and bread and gravy and began to talk. He made a during dinner speech something like this. And they play interesting game called Red Chief. Cowboys and Indians are played that game. Johnny rides both of men, especially Bill. He rides Bill and the boy rides him as a horse. He throws a little stones at Bill's eyes, and even he puts baked potatoes on Bill's back. He is very scared of the child, and he regrets that he kidnapped him. He wants to give him back to home. They spend their times to interesting games and other actions, and they write a letter. They demand $1,500 for the boy's safe return. Unfortunately, the father rejects their demands because he knows his child's character, and he also demands some money to beg Johnny. Finally, they decide to beg Johnny to home. And it was just 12 o'clock when we knocked at Ebenezer's front door, just at the moment when I should have been abstracting the $1,500 from the box under the tree. According to the original proposition, Bill was counting out $250 into Dorset's hand. When the kid found out we were going to leave him at home, he started up a hole like a caliban and fastened himself as tight as a leech to Bill's leg. His father peeled him away gradually, like a porous plaster. "How long can you hold him?" asked Bill. I'm not sure. I'm not as strong as I used to be," says old Dorset, "but I think I can promise to 10 minutes. "Enough," says Bill. "In 10 minutes I shall cross the central, southern, and middle western states and be legging in triply for the Canadian border. And As dark as it was, and as fat as Bill was, and as good a runner as I am, he was a good mile and a half out of summit before I could catch up with him. And finally, the story is finished. Thank you for the attention.